Hello guys, and here we are again with a little project at the boat. And if you can see all that white stuff there, we're getting a lot of corrosion lately on the Outdrive. And we did this once before, like probably about a year ago, and everywhere I'm getting all these white little pits and the paint coming off. So we're gonna scrape everything off, sand it down, primer it again, and repaint it and see how long that lasts. There's some parts that came out really good, they're still shiny, and a little bit on the top here, but if you see the edges, same thing. There's a little pitting and corrosion just about everywhere. And I don't know why this is happening, because we do change all the anodes every year. And the ones that, there's another one back there, and then we have these two here, and we change them every single year. And they don't look that bad. They're ready to be changed again, because we're about to change them again soon. But we're still getting all that corrosion all over the place. And I mean, I know it's been 18 years. It's 18 years old, so something's got to give. The environment and the salt water, I mean, it just corrodes everything away. Hopefully this time it'll last a little longer. We're going to try to sand it down really well, as best as we can, and we'll see what happens. So stay tuned. Here we show you all the materials and tools that we used to do the prep for the Outdrive painting. I will put the link for all the tools and products in the description of this video. We found that using a chisel, it is much easier to scrape the old paint than using a spatula. Okay, another thing that I wanted to mention, see, this is after we scraped everything off. All this area before we scraped had little bumps all over the place, and when you scrape that little bump, little white dust, corrosion dust came out. So wherever you have that white corrosion, in the future it'll burst right out, and that dust won't let the paint stick or anything like that. So you have to make sure you take every little bump and scrape it off with scrapers and sandpaper. And we use a combination of sandpaper, a little scraper, a couple of sizes, and we used a wire brush with a drill and wire brushed it several times as well. So it's not an easy job, but if you do it like that, you may have something that's going to last you a little bit longer before we get the corrosion to come out again. So hope this helped. All right, over here we just finished sanding and rubbing and scraping everything that we can that had that white dust corrosion. Everything's nice and smooth, or at least as close as we get it to smooth. And right now what we're doing is wiping it down with acetone. First, what we did is we wiped it down with a moist towel, and then we did that a couple of times, and then we came back with a blower and blew air everywhere in all the crevices, make sure all the dust is out. And then here, the final touch is the acetone. Now we're cleaning it up, making all the detailing with acetone. And then once we're done with that, we're ready for the first coat of primer. All right, we just finished doing the primer. We gave it 3 coats of primer, real light coats. The first light coat, we waited like a few minutes in between, and then resprayed a second time and waited a few more minutes in between, and then gave it the third and final coat of primer. So we're just gonna let it sit there for a while, and then come back and do the Outdrive black, Mercury black. I think it's called Phantom black. All right, here's another little thing you might want to look at when you do a job like this, is that once you put down the primer coat all over the engine here, or the Outdrive in this case, you'll see little cracks of paint, and you could probably see like right there. The best way is to scrape it off and then repaint it with the primer again. I've removed a bunch of this here, right here. This is old, really brittle paint that is going to come off. You see how it breaks into little pieces? It's like an eggshell. You may want to take all that off. And what I did here is I repainted it after I took off everything I could see. I repainted it again with the primer, and then came back and found a few more and did our little detail touch up there. I just still have to do a little bit here. And then if you could minimize that kind of condition, I think you have a better outcome of your painting of the Outdrive. All right, now after you're done scraping off all the loose paint chips that you can see after you did the primer, then I come back with a sandpaper. This is a really thick, it's an 80, and that'll clean off all that white corrosion dust off of it and slightly expose the metal below so that the primer can stick to the metal there. So after you've done, then you just sand it, get it ready, and next we're going to clean it down so the paint can stick. Stay tuned. We finally gave it all the final touches that I could give of scraping and sanding all the loose paint from the Outdrive, and we have it completely painted with the primer, and we're ready for the final coat, which probably be about 3 coats of the Phantom Black. That's the color that Mercruiser uses, and we're going to give it a day or two for this whole thing to dry up well, and then we're going to give it a light sanding, and then we're going to give it the final coats. After a light sand on the primer, really light, all over the engine or the Outdrive, now we're ready for the first coat of paint, which I already have done here. I'm just going to give it like about 5 to 10 minutes for it to dry well, and then I'm going to give it the second coat, and I think we should end up with it between 3 to 4 coats of the Phantom Black Mercruiser paint. All right, all the paint is nice and dry, so the first thing we're going to do is install all the brand new anodes. We're going to change them all out. They're already due to change, and then we're going to put back the transom shower, the Outdrive shower we have here. You'll see that next, and that's it. We're ready then to put the final touches on the Outdrive here, which is the decals. The factory decals, we take them off and put new ones on. One goes back there at the end there, and then 2 of them, 1 of them on each ramrod here. All right, guys, what we're doing here is taking off the anode. It's a big plate that goes in the back here. It only has 2 bolts on it, and we're using a number 14 socket to loosen them out. It's taking a little more than usual because it looks like it has salt and the threads there. It's only been there for a year, and it's coming up, getting loose now. And that's the plate that we just took off. I'm gonna replace it with a brand new one. We do that every year, so here we go. All right, here how the old anode looks, and it's getting all that white dust on it. And here's the new one, so you can see the comparison from one to the other. The new one comes with brand new bolts and washers. Here's the condition of the old prop anode, and here's the new one. Now if you want to see a video that I've done for anodes only, I'll put a link on above the screen here, and click on that and see the full video when we change the anodes, and I can show you there step by step. Alright, so here we are with the final touches. Finally, we put the decals back on again. And there's one here. And I'll have a link in the description for all these items, the decals, the paint, and everything. Alright, we're all finally done here. We just trimmed with the anti-fouling paint on the transom from the overspray, and decals are on. The anodes are on already, there and there and there, and the one back there, and everything is already completed. All the overspray tape is taken off, and we're done completely. We're hoping that this year it'll last a little longer than last time. It only lasts like about 8 months, 9 months, when it started to peel off a little chips of paint here and there. Hopefully this time it'll last a little longer, and we're complete. Hope you liked this video, and if you did, please put a like and subscribe, and appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.
Marker.
I said it was complete, but it wasn't complete. I forgot to put the Outdrive shower back on again. Now 100% complete. Everything has been done, cleaned, painted, and completed. Now we're done.
Now is a great time to like and subscribe. All you have to do is click on the subscribe button below. It's free, and you'll be part of the Keys Boating Channel family. Thanks so much for your support.